Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is the 4th of April. And bear with me because I want to talk about Passover today too. So our Lent reading is Psalm 22. Our reading for Passion Week is Matthew 26:14 to 16. And since today is the beginning of Passover, our reading there is Exodus 12 and Luke 22. Now, wherever I post this video, the night before I post the text of this, which will also include the readings, maybe not. So I'll post these lists below in the body of this one as well. Anyway, but I'm going to be reading, since I want to talk about Passover a little bit in this context, 1 Corinthians 5, 7 and 8. Messiah, our Passover Lamb, has been sacrificed. Therefore, let us celebrate the feast not with the old hametz, the hametz of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread, the matzah of sincerity and truth. The Last Supper, which occurs a little later in the week, was the celebration of Passover. And Passover is a feast even today that's celebrated even by secular Jews, but they ignore the fact that it points towards Jesus as being the Messiah, and that the Lamb points to his sacrifice as payment for sin. The whole story of Passover is a way of God picturing what Christ was going to do when we come to this time in Christ's life, where he goes to the cross, and by the way, during Passover, and where he becomes the sacrificial lamb as payment for sin. And so from the time of Moses all the way through to the time of Christ, we see the celebration of Passover pointing to Christ, and Christ becomes the fulfillment of it. And now it can be still celebrated, but celebrated with an awareness of how it pictures Christ, which really is done in churches, is done in Messianic Hebrew homes, but is completely ignored by the Jews, be they religious or secular. But what a blessing it is for us to know that God has pictured that work that he was going to provide really from the very beginning, and pictured it so tremendously in both Passover and, by the way, in the tabernacle itself and later the temple. So keep that in mind, that our faith is grounded in a faithful God that has made these promises and pictured this account from the very beginning. And so rejoice and celebrate as we move towards Good Friday and then Resurrection Sunday, and celebrate the Passover Lamb. And I'll see you again tomorrow.